Hello and welcome. I want to thank everybody for taking some time out of their day to join us for a really brief presentation on the updates to MODUS. On the line with me also is Keith Johnson. He's our product support specialist and moderator for this. My name is Warren Turner. I am the Director of North American Lighting Sales for Sloan. So just a few housekeeping things as we get started. You'll notice on your screen there's a little orange arrow. If you go ahead and click that arrow, a dialog box will appear. And there's two things there. One, it'll give you the ability to download the new spec sheet and the new sell sheet for MODUS. And you'll also see a place where you can type in questions. So Keith is moderating the presentation, and any questions you have, just type them into that box, and Keith will go ahead and get you your answer back. If for any reason we have a question that we can't answer on the call, we will go ahead and get your information from the webinar and make sure that we follow up with you and get you the answer to your questions. So again, we're going to keep this brief, 10 to 15 minutes tops. We want to get you back to what you're doing. So we'll go ahead and get started. If I can get this thing clicking in the right direction. Okay, so what we're going to cover is less about the product. There's not a lot of changes in the product itself. The main differences are how we order the product and how we ship the product. There's some changes to the spec sheet and sell sheet and a couple mounting changes that you need to be aware of. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on today. So we do have a new spec sheet set for the MODUS. Prior, our marketing brochure and our spec sheet were pretty much combined into one document. So we've broken those up. There is a brochure available online for download. There is a spec sheet that is what you're looking at, which is the technical document. And then there's a sell sheet, which is a great leave behind for a customer or a quick refresh if you're just looking to get updated on the basics of the product. So to talk about the first page of the spec sheet, which is important, the first part of the ordering stays the same. So in the first block, the 701948 is the same. You pick your color temperature as you have before, either 4K or 5K, and your body color, either bronze or white, knowing that bronze is only available currently in the high output unit. What's changed now is the power supply. We are now shipping the power supply with the product, so with the fixture itself. So you need to specify which power supply you want in the fixture part number. So in this example, M75 is going to ship with the fixture and the color temperature and finish that you want, but also with the 75-watt power supply. If you were to select the M150, you would get the 150-watt power supply, and likewise, if you put MH200, you're going to get the 200-watt power supply. So the power module is included with it, and the power module includes the little device that allows you to select between full output, medium, and low. So like before, the fixture ships in full output, high output, and you can in the field change it to either the other two settings. What we have added to the spec sheet is the ability for us to factory set those for you. So if you leave that blank, you're going to go ahead and get it the way you've always gotten the product. If you go ahead and select P1, you're going to get it preset in the medium power setting. And if you select P2, you're going to go ahead and get that in the low setting. So if you're on a project that has a high quantity of fixtures and you don't want the contractor to have to spend time, or if you're just worried about it being set the way you designed it or the way you wanted it to be or the client wanted it, you can go ahead and order it from the factory with any of those three settings. Please know that there is a slight cost for doing that work, and that is included in your new price sheet. So this is, you used to order mods as far as where you got the power supplies and how you mounted it before. So this is an example of the mod to North American Petroleum kit that has been discontinued. And that used to include the power supply, power module, and the North American junction box for up on top of the canopy. Well, that's changed. And now you would select from one of the two. You'd select for a canopy you'd select the 601106 for canopy and soffit applications, or for the surface mount application, you'd pick the 601022M. And we'll show you what's changed in those. So the 601106, the junction box looks very similar to what it was before, except there's no power supply in it. So what you'll see is there is a saddle bracket, and the power supply that's packed with the fixture simply lays into that bracket and slides into the enclosure. So there's no hardware required to attach it. It just sits in the bracket. If you ever need to change a power supply, you no longer need to unscrew it from the cover. You simply reach in, disconnect the secondary modular connection and your primary connection, and you're able to pull the driver right out. So just a quick, easy way to service it and a quick, easy way to install it. This is what that box looks like, and you'll see that saddle bracket inside the open enclosure, and then the lower image shows you the power supply resting in that saddle. So really a quick install, but something that your installers need to be aware of and your customers, just because it has changed. Now the Mod 4 was the surface mount. Now the surface mount assembly used to come with the fixture mounted in, just as you see here, but again, now it's shipping with the fixture. So now when you order the 601002M, which is the surface mount housing, it's the exact same housing that you've gotten before, except now it has that same exact saddle bracket. That saddle bracket has keyhole slots, and you would simply put the power supply like you do in the junction box, and then slide the saddle into the hardware that's in the back of the housing into those keyhole slots and lock it into place. So again, nice and simple, but just know that those mods are discontinued and that the power supply comes with the fixture and you assemble it just using this saddle bracket. So a few additional things had changed in the spec sheet. We had requests to include the replacement parts, mainly the power supply on the spec sheet. So those are right on the front. If you ever need to order a replacement power supply, the part numbers are right there for you to do that. And again, the prices are in your price sheet. Next thing is we've put a performance summary right on the front page. So it very clearly shows you the power, the efficiency, the delivered lumens for each wattage in each setting. So that's right on the front page, very easy to see and to gather that information. The dimming options and accessories have not changed at all. The only thing that we've added is an image of the occupancy sensor that would actually replace that silicone plug that's in the front of the MODUS fixture. So just to give you a visual of what that looks like. So last on the front page, we've added an additional cover plate for the canopy, a mounting plate. So we've added a 32 by 26 rectangular plate. So if you have a larger area that you're trying to cover or one of the old rectangle fixtures that might have been in there, this gives you a plate with some additional size to cover up the markings or holes. So that has been added to our offering as well. The second and third page of the spec sheet, I'm not really going to go through. The second page covers the same electrical details that were on the prior. And the third page just goes over what we just discussed, which is the junction box. That's an exploded view of how it all goes together. And then same for the surface mount canopy. So another item of note on the last page, the Mod 5 North American shoebox retrofit kit, that has been discontinued as well. So this is what you used to use if you had that surface mount enclosure already existing and you wanted to just go ahead and retrofit a MODUS onto that existing housing. So we have replaced the Mod 5. Since the power supply ships with the fixture, you're 90% of the way there. All you need to do is order the 401397, which is the 2x2 plate. When you couple the 2x2 plate with the fixture and power supply, it gives you that same kit. So you just go and order the fixture with the power supply and that plate, and that's your North American shoebox retrofit kit. So as I mentioned earlier, we have put a updated product sell sheet on the website. It's a great quick go-to guide that lists the efficiencies and just a quick overview of the product, a great leave behind for a customer or something you can email or send to them. So that's the end of this part of it. I'm going to go ahead and close the presentation so I can go on full video here so you can see the product itself. And we'll hope that this works. Okay, so when you ordered the product before, you would get this junction box and you would get the power supply and power module affixed to the lid. So it would come just like this. Now when you order it, you're going to get the exact same junction box. You're going to get a lid, and you'll notice that lid has a silicone plug now at the very top right here. That's designed for the antenna for our MODUS Smart Bay wireless control system. So if you want more information on that, a presentation, a demo, please reach out to your regional or me or anybody at Sloan. We'll be happy to walk you through that. So the additional part that we've been talking about is the saddle bracket. So this now ships with the fixture, and this allows you to put the power supply into the enclosure without any hardware. So to show you how that works, if I can balance this without dropping anything, You simply take the power supply, drop it into the saddle bracket. The entire assembly then rests right into the junction box, and that's your entire installation. So very simple to service. As I mentioned when we were talking about the surface mount enclosure, this same saddle has keyhole slots. Hopefully you can see those right here. And that's just going to go ahead and lock into your surface mount enclosure. You put the driver in the same way. So same bracket, whether it's a surface mount kit or a North American canopy kit. Also included, as always, is the same gasket we've been using and the packets of hardware, retaining clips, and even a drive bit to be able to put the star screws in. One comment that came up, or question that came up in our last presentation, is the hardware color. Please know that we are working towards color keyed hardware. It is in process as we speak. It's not ready to roll out right now. We'll certainly let you guys know what it is, but in the near future, when you order a bronze fixture, you'll get bronze hardware. And when you order a white fixture, you'll get white hardware as opposed to the stainless steel colors. So that's all we had for you today. We appreciate your time. We wanted to keep it quick, but that's the update. If you have any questions, Keith is certainly answering anything online. Please reach out to me, your inside sales support, or your regional. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Appreciate your time today, and thank you.